Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whenever you are. Thank you for participating in Bitcoin Morpheus's video. You could take the iPhone 12 pill and or you could take the blue pill. Oh wow. Not my morning.
No, not today.
Not my morning. Or you could turn and take the Bitcoin pill and buy 10 of these in 15 months.
We need Bitcoin. Lots of Bitcoin.
Guns. Lots of guns. Okay, well, thank you for watching. Right, if you're learning about Bitcoin for the first time, and you're wondering how could you buy 10 iPhones in the future, trust me, with the current flow of Bitcoin and people buying Bitcoin like crazy, we're going to see Bitcoin hit $100,000 or more in the next year. Less than like 15 months or so. You can see from the stock to flow model. Also, the fact that if you look at the yearly growth chart of Bitcoin, this thing's growing nonstop. And the reason why is because this is it has better traits of money than anything else. And we all know that money is 50% of all transactions. Well, if you didn't know that, now you do. And so that makes sense that, you know what, maybe you should get some of this Bitcoin, right? That's good, because I really think it's going to be the next biggest thing since since gold, basically. Alrighty, so for today's show, we've got quite a few things that we're going to be talking about. We're going to be talking about obviously the new iPhone, and why you should probably hold off, right? And also we're going to be talking about the upgrades to Bitcoin, right? What's going on with the Bitcoin code and so forth. What's going on with also the breaking news with the OKX. We're gonna also mention that as well, and of course we're gonna be talking about the stock to flow model a little bit more in depth and so forth, and all the cool things that's happening in the Bitcoin world. All right, so before we get on to that, we're gonna go to talk about TA and what's going on with the price action. We know that Bitcoin was crashing just before we started the show. Bitcoin was crashing, and we're gonna also chat about the TA on Ethereum as well. But Inti's got a few words to say.
Yes.
I hit the wrong button.
Okay, as always, people, it's worth to remind you that this video is for entertainment purposes only, and this is not financial advice. Please do your own research before putting any of your hard-earned money on the market.
All right. So it's just been a rough day for me, I guess. I don't know. Woke up on the wrong side of the bed. Okay, let's start off with our TA for today. And Bitcoin was crashing in the last hour, right? And then it's just bounced back up. We dumped down on this big red candle with lots of volume. The dead cat bounced, and then now we rolled over, and then we bounced again. So what you could see here, let me just make sure that okay. And what you could see here is that there is support level here. Let's just draw that out. Let's see here. I'm going to take the magnet off. Right, you can see right here we got a support level, which I think effectively is broken on the hourly, but then it was recovered, because if we drag this up a little bit, you can see that it's pretty much just straight enough. What do you think, Inti? Yeah, I think so. Right, there we go.
Yeah.
So right about here. So the real test, right? If we break down on the 4 hour, we can see this thing break down further, and look, that there's a nice juicy dabble. Is that correct? Is that a clean dabble? It's not as clean as I would like it to be, but it is there. And so if you were to trade this as a dabble, let's take a look. It is a 2-to-1 Davo. Not a clean one. I don't know. It's really a 3-to-1 actually, but I don't want to count it as a 3-to-1 because of the way it's not well formed. So I don't want to trust it as a 3-to-1 Davo. So I'm going to take it. If I were going to take this short, right, I'd have to take this short from here, and that's where the stop loss would be at that point there, at that last high here at $11,632. And let me just zoom out a bit, and then I'm going to take that to 2-to-1. So that's a long way down. Wow. There we go. Okay. What's a few percentage? Wow. That's all the way back down. Like a BART. Yeah, which is possible. That's sad. It's a possibility. And so that's what the Davo is saying. We're going to be headed all the way back down. Now, we've got also the head and shoulders pattern, a very weak head and shoulders pattern that you can see has formed here. And so its target is approximately pretty much the same. Right? Right at the 200 moving average of the 4 hour. So I have to say, that's probably the accurate target right there. If we break this level here of what is it, about 11,300, 11,087, and 11,287. So yeah, that would be the most likely trajectory if we break down, unfortunately. But looking at, I would be a little bit. I'd take pause in all of this, only because if we take a look at, let me see here. Let's see, where did I put that? Is it right here? That chart. There we go. So here it is. So if we were to take a look at this chart here, I have several resistance points, right? And this is why I'm going to take this off. I have several resistance points at 11,100. And then obviously a few more going down. There's 10,000, almost 11,000 here. 10,889 here, and then finally down here. So once we break this 10,900 almost, that's where things could get move really fast here, and we can very well end up in this area once again, which is the 10,700 area or further below at the 10,500 fairly quickly. All right, not good news, of course. And yeah, let's go on to Ethereum. Hopefully Ethereum will give us some sort of good news that will turn this thing around. But right, yeah, the only good news we've got is Ethereum's trying to hold this long-term support trend line here, and I don't think it's doing a very good job. If we go down to the 4 hour, we've broken past the previous support again. This was key support. This was key resistance before. This has been resistance and support for many, many times. We've broken above it and we failed it. We've bounced off of it several times, and now we've failed it. So this candle close, which is the 4 hour, we've already closed below it, and so we have to say that this thing is going to break down further. So most likely, this is an indicator saying that, hey, we've broken and we're going to go further. So that means Bitcoin definitely is going to be breaking down as well. Unfortunate, But looking at the indicators here of the Willy, I think there's not much room for this to break down unless it goes breaks down fast and hard. Then it becomes sold very quickly, and which means that if this can hold a trend line, which I'm seeing here, right here, that would be positive for Ethereum and probably even Bitcoin. Doubt that though. I really doubt it. There's a lot of these levels probably look like they're FU levels to mess with the people who have longs here. So I think they'll take these people out here that have longs. They might not get these guys, but that have stop losses here. But I think the stop runs are going to happen right about here. So I think we'll probably see a stop run. And let's see here. I think the Hail Mary trade is the most likely trade on this, which is, yeah, look at that. Perfect stop run. You hit the 78.6, right? Go long on this and, pray. Pray. That's it. Right? That's how you deal with the Hail Mary, because the reason why it's called Hail Mary is because you're buying into a falling knife, basically, and falling at you. Or, it could be the opposite direction, right? Coming right at you like a freight train. And you hit the bid and you just pray, right? That it bounces. And I think that's the most likely trade for Ethereum. That's a long trade. So let me just show that for you. Right, the entry is exactly at $331, and this do want to take profits on just a 2-to-1. You don't want to get greedy, and you take profits at approximately 366. Now, notice this is a high percentage loss here, 5.3%. So you should not be using leverage on this trade at all, unless you reduce the amount of money you're going to bet to be less than how much you have in your account. So, for example, if you've got $1,000 in your account, either you bet only the $1,000 because that's going to be a loss of 5%, maybe a little bit less, right? Maybe $900 with no leverage, or you do 10x with what's it called, with only $100, right? So that you only lose 5% of your money, and that's how you use leverage properly, right? If you don't use leverage properly, you will get wrecked. It's a complete wreck city, and that's why people should take some courses on how to trade before they go out and trade. Okay. With that said, let's get on to the main topic of today. Right? If you're not, but before we do that, actually, if you're not watching this live with us, because if you're watching this after the fact, you'll know that you probably won't know that I screwed up quite a few times, and it was quite funny. And if you want to be a part of that, right, you have to purchase a DJ15 token, and the instructions on how to be a part of the live show is in the description below. All right. Just so you know, back in 2010, if you were to go, you know what, I don't want any Bitcoin. I want an iPhone. Well, that iPhone would have cost $8,557 Bitcoin. Today's iPhone 12 is 0.07 Bitcoin. And interestingly enough, right, if you were to be the average person, not in the top, like just in the top, not top 10%, the top 1% of people, all you need is 0.28 Bitcoin. So, effectively, if you want to be in the top 10%, you need 0.028 Bitcoin. So, effectively, if you buy an iPhone today, right, and instead of just buying Bitcoin, that means that you have relinquished the possibility of being part of the 10% twice over. So maybe part of the 5%, right? In the distant future, maybe 15 to 20 years from now, holding Bitcoin. If you held that much Bitcoin from 15 to 20 years from now, you'd be part of the top 5%. So consider that when you're buying your Bitcoin. Now, I want to show you the worst altcoin you'll ever see in your entire life. I'm gonna bring it up. See if I can bring this up here. Load chart layout. Let's see if I can bring it up. There we go. Absolute worst altcoin you could ever see. Look at this altcoin. Oh my God, would you buy this thing? Right? Yeah, the little lady might be interested, but I would tell her not a good idea. Not a good idea. This thing's definitely going to zero because it's the US dollar, the price of the US dollar in Bitcoin. And you can see that this thing's falling off a cliff, man. It's just constantly sliding down. And it's went sideways for quite some time now, and it's about to fall some even further. So you might not invest in this altcoin. Alrighty. So if you want to see that, I think we got the link in the description below there. If you have enough currency to buy one Bitcoin now, please don't tweet this in 10 years from now. You'll only make me feel like I failed you, okay? Don't tell me that you should have followed my advice 10 years ago. That really sucks. I remember I tried so hard to get people to buy Bitcoins at $1, and they refused. They were acting like, well, all you have to do is just buy one of them or 10 of them, right? That's it. It's not going to end your world, right? If I'm wrong, right? But they wouldn't listen, right? And it's sad. It's so sad, right? And I felt that it was my inability to explain how it's just it's a small amount of money. Maybe it's you just have to hold it for a short time and see what happens. I don't know. Maybe I just didn't explain myself right. And I'm feeling that if you've got enough money right now to buy one Bitcoin and you can afford it, and you don't do so, and then you tell me, oh, Davinci, I wish I'd bought that Bitcoin when I was watching your show a long time ago. Yeah, that's not going to help. That's information I do not need to know. So don't do that. Right? Grayscale is buying up Bitcoin, right? So if you don't do it, Grayscale will, right? Because they're buying up 77% of all newly minted coins, right? And that's going to increase to probably even 100% by the time, sometime next year, basically. So you don't want to be left behind on that one. Now, Bitcoin's getting quite a few upgrades in the next little while. It's already been upgraded. The next upgrade will be support for V3 addresses on Tor. And what that is, Tor is very interesting. If you don't know, right, maybe you do, maybe you don't, but it's difficult to have people come to you from the internet to your local computer if you have just personal internet access. So when you buy internet access from your ISP, they don't like it when you have ports open and let people come to you. And so right now I had to cancel my internet. I had Intel, and they had blocked me off from actually opening up ports so that I could run a web server, so I could run even the Bitcoin node. They wouldn't let me. Now they won't let me do the nodes. But with Tor, what happens is I can provide an address that people can go to, even though they've blocked me off from providing access to anybody from the internet coming to me. Not with Tor. Tor is a little different. You could actually create open ports with Tor, even if your internet provider has blocked you off. And this upgrade also provides announcing that, hey, you're available anywhere on the internet. So this way, even though your ISP in the future may block you from opening up ports, it won't matter. If you use Tor, if you enable Tor, people will still be able to get to your Bitcoin node, and that's huge improvement. And I'm looking forward to that. Another cool improvement, which is a little bit more complicated and harder to understand. I was reading it last night when I shouldn't have. I was so excited about it. I was reading all the technical information. This is a lot. I went through the technical information. A lot of people who are writing the technical docs, man, they assume that you have a lot of knowledge, pre-forward knowledge. So I would suggest you not read it on what Taproot and Schnorr signatures they are, because these technical writers, they have so much information that they just assume a lot that you have that same information, and so when they're writing, they don't realize that the reader may not have that same level of knowledge. And so one of the things they talk about is the fact that this allows you to to create signatures, that complex signatures, basically. For example, multi-signatures, right? And hide the fact that it's a multi-sig. To hide the fact that you've got a complex application or set of code behind a specific address. And it looks like a normal paid to script hash, basically a basic Bitcoin transaction from way back in the past. Consider that. It looks like a transaction that was occurring from a Bitcoin software that was developed 10 years ago. Right. Meanwhile, it's an app. It's what's it called? The latest version of the Bitcoin standard, right? So that's the cool thing about Taproot and Schnorr signatures. How it does that is basically Schnorr is the same. It uses the same kind of encryption technology, but it has a feature to allow you to add up signatures, so that the addition of all the signatures is effectively the same as of pointing out each and every signature. Right now, we point out, okay, this guy's signing it, this guy's signing it, this guy's signing it, that guy's signing it, and we write that all into the blockchain. But with Schnorr, you could put it all, add it up together, and put one signature, and they equal what that one person, what those multiple people signed, right? And so that's the cool thing about Schnorr signatures, and I love that. It's an awesome piece of technology, and I'm looking forward to that coming into fruition in Bitcoin. All right, so Donald Trump. It doesn't matter who's president. I really don't care. I don't want to vote. I'm glad I'm not voting, even though I'm not American. I mean, last time I was trying to support a presidential campaign was Ron Paul's presidential campaign, and that's about it. I actually illegally donated to his campaign. I helped, a lot with that campaign, and but that's the only difference, right? That's when you're talking about presidents, like, think about it. Trump wants to spend money, and the Democrats want to print money. There is no discussion on maybe it's a bad idea if we don't do it. It's a bad idea if we do this, and we shouldn't do it at all. There's no discussion about that, right? So you're guaranteed, right, that trillions will be coming. And you know what? Whether it's 1.8 or 2.2, right? Rounding error, basically, for the government. Right? It doesn't matter. The money's coming, right? It's going to be printed. And that means, right? That means, basically, this is going to happen. This is happening. This path to 1 million is happening. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because these guys are guaranteeing it. Both the Democrats and the Republicans are guaranteeing you free money if you own Bitcoin. So just buy, hodl your Bitcoins, and you will get that free money, right, that they print out and hand off, not to you. Yeah, you might get that stimulus $1,200 check, but that's the peanuts compared to what billionaires are going to be getting, airlines are going to be getting, and a whole bunch of other people other than you are going to be getting a lot more money. And the only way to get some of that money back from them is to hold Bitcoin and hold on to it tight. Don't sell it to them until they get like at least 10x more on your Bitcoin, at least minimum. Then you could maybe sell them like 1/10. Yeah. Alrighty. I think that's all for today. I think we covered everything. I just want to mention one more time, right? That remember what Bitcoin's trying to be. It's trying to be money. And because it's 50% of all transactions, and look at this, it's way better money than gold or fiat, right? It's a no-brainer. And it's only improving over time. Yes, you can say, oh, it's slow. It costs so much to transaction fee. It's garbage. Oh, it's nonsense. You know what? Everybody said the same thing about TCP/IP. Back in the early 90s, I remember people said this is never going to work. IBM came up with their own method of managing the internet, and that was faster, sounder. I thought it was going to be the winning strategy, but it didn't. It was TCP/IP. Why is that? It's because a protocol is not a fixed asset, meaning that it's not. Let's just say we purchased this iPhone, and they want to upgrade the physical hardware of the iPhone for you for free without any cost to you. Well, they have to come to your house. They have to either give you a new iPhone or repair it and open it up and build and add the new features. Well, with a protocol, that doesn't happen, right? They change it and everybody gets it instantly. And so that's the key thing that people just don't seem to understand with a protocol, right? It gets upgraded and you don't even notice that the upgrade has happened. And your protocol runs a lot better. That's what's going to happen with Bitcoin. And try to understand that it's not a car, it's not a plane. It's not the first plane, it's not the first car, right? Obviously, right? It is a protocol, means of communication, and that means it's going to do extremely well, because somebody's going to upgrade it over time. All right. Well, thank you all for watching. Right? If you're watching this show after the fact in the edited version, thank you for watching. We're going to continue with the question and answers. And yeah, cheers, people.
Bye.